In the last few lessons, we've gained a little bit more confidence using the V-Ray material editor, and we've learnt to create materials just using a diffuse layer in terms of the feet and our hazard yellow colour. And we've progressively, in the subsequent lesson, learned to add reflection and transparency to our materials. So in this lesson, what we're going to do is we're going to continue to build on the light unit in the design, and we're going to add a little bit of complexity to our materials in the material editor. So in this particular case, we'll be looking at the light unit body, so we can create that material to begin with. So we're just going to create a standard material. We're going to rename it as we have in the past. We'll be calling it light unit body, LU body. There we go. Click OK. Open up that tree. Click on the diffuse layer, and this time, instead of allocating the material via the color box there, the finish there, click the M tab with your left click on your mouse, bring that into view. And previously, all we've done on the texture editor is we've added a color using the text A color. In this particular case, I'd like you to scroll down to the text blend setting. So in this particular case, we can now apply two materials in this area here and come up with a composite finish. Okay, so the first one is going to be a texture bitmap. So again, we click the M tab. We scroll down to text B or text bitmap, and we're going to source from our reference file section the texture sample that we've used previously. Click open, and it will be in the surface there. We can just preview that on screen to see what it looks like, and we'll leave it at its default settings for the time being. We can change these later in the UV channels if required, but for the moment that should be just fine. So we'll just preview that. We have that on screen. Now let's choose the other texture. Now the other texture that we'll be working with on the body of the light unit will be just a plain color, so we can just go text A color, click on the box, and we'll go with just black for the time being, should be fine. Click OK. You'll notice that our blending is just a mid-tone gray, so we'll take that to 0.9. Click OK. Okay, we'll just preview that. Okay, just go back and just check. So our blend amount is 0.9. Text A is the texture bitmap. Text B is our plain color. We can see that on screen there. The next item that we want to add is just a little bit of reflection as well. So right click on the body, create a layer, and we'll go for reflection. There we go. Click on that. We'll go to our reflection map. There we go. And we'll make that 4. So we can preview what that looks like in reflection. We can go to our overall preview, and we can see that we've got that there. Now we're going to allocate it via layer. So right click on the material, scroll down to apply material to layer, and we're going to scroll down to light unit body. Click OK. Okay. Now I'm just going to pause it there for a moment, and we'll render that out just to see the net effect. Okay, you can see the rendering on screen there, and we've now applied a reflective material in a dark black color with a stippled finish on it to the body of the light can. We're now going to duplicate that finish onto the hoods and just slightly modify that finish at the same time. So I'm just going to close that window. We'll take the material editor across, right click on the light unit body, scroll down to duplicate material. We're going to rename that, and this time it'll be light unit cans. Click OK. We're going to reduce the reflective index on that to 2. Click OK. Correction, we're just going to change the reflection on that just down to 0.6. I don't want it to be as glossy as that front face there, so we'll just preview that. So it's the glossiness compared to the body. You can see the difference there on the preview screen. And we're going to also reduce the glossiness reflectivity down to 0.8 and preview that. There we go. Now you'll notice the difference between those two there is we've now diffused the reflectivity on the body there. So we now can allocate those materials. So we'll just apply material to layer, scroll down to light unit cans, hold down the control key. You can see we've also selected light unit hoods there. Click OK, and we can see that we've now allocated the material finish. We'll just pause that for a moment and render it out. So there's the test rendering at this stage. You can see we're getting good contrast between the glass on the various warning lights on the traffic light and the strong blacks on the body of the traffic light. Now we're going to go back in and add the lights in behind the glass. So we'll just close that off again. Open up our material editor. There it is. Now what we're going to be doing is we're going to copy the red light glass. So duplicate material. There we go. We're going to change that name to just red light. Delete. Click OK. The reflectivity can stay the same, but our transparency will be 0. So we're going to just pull that color slider, that tonal slider down to black. Preview that. Okay. Just pull that to one side so we can see that. We're on red light there. Reflectivity is the same and it's going to be behind the glass, so that's not a big issue. Okay, and we're going to duplicate that in order to produce, correction, what we'll do is we'll allocate that at this stage. So I'm just going to open up the layer manager. There we go. And we're going to turn off the light unit light faces. There we go. So all we've got is those items in behind. We're going to select the surfaces that make up the red lights. There we go. And we're going to allocate that via object. So material editor, we're on red light, right click on the element, scroll down to apply material to selection. There we go, and it will now have that red color allocated. I'm going to pause at this point, but during that pause, I will be duplicating both the amber light and the green light and converting that transparency down to 0 in order to create the red light elements, and then we will allocate those to those materials as well. Okay, we've created the materials that make up the amber light and the green light by duplicating over the previous glass layers and removing the transparency. All we need to do at this point is allocate those materials. So we're going to go to our objects. So there's the front face of one light, the back face of the other light, holding down the shift key and grabbing it. We go to our material editor, right click, scroll down to apply material to selection. Then we do the same element on the green light at the bottom. So left click, grab the front surface, hold down the shift key, grab the surface at the rear, bring your material editor into screen. Okay, scroll down and highlight the green light, left click, right click to tell it what to do, apply material to selection. There we go. Now the next element that we're going to do in order to finish off the material selections here is we simply have to allocate the color finishes to the gunmetal bracket elements and the brackets. So the first thing we can do that is we can do that straight by layer. So we just click on the material editor. We're going to grab the gunmetal elements, right click, apply material selection to layer, scroll down to light unit, gunmetal fittings, there we go, click OK. Similarly, we can go to our V-Ray hazard yellow color and we can apply material to layer, and then at that point simply scroll down to light unit brackets, click OK, and we've now allocated the material finishes to everything related to the light unit. Okay, we'll just pause there. So there you can see the test render as a result of that material allocation. And just before we close off, what we've done is we've allocated materials in this lesson using a blended material in the V-Ray material editor. We've imported a bitmap in order to produce that material, and we've also duplicated materials in order to create the internal light fittings on the light unit. Okay, see you in the next lesson.